Are you tired of your epic battles being interrupted by bat guano? Is your wizard more concerned with shopping lists than spell lists? Well, today we're talking about the biggest buzzkill in all of D&D, spell components. That's right, we're tackling the one rule that's turning epic moments into awkward pauses, and, more importantly, how to fix it so you can get back to what really matters, rolling dice and making terrible decisions. So, what exactly are spell components? In Dungeons & Dragons, most spells need a combination of three things to cast: verbal, somatic, and material components. The material bit, that's where things get interesting. Or, frustrating.
こいつ
You might need a pinch of sand for a sleep spell, or a tiny bag and a feather to make someone laugh uncontrollably. Then there's the more bizarre stuff, like a bit of bat fur, or a drop of molasses. All the little odds and ends that spellcasters are somehow supposed to carry around, without looking like a walking apothecary. And let's be real, most of the time, it's not even about making magic happen. It's about double-checking if you've still got that one pearl worth 100 gold pieces, or enough newt eyeballs left for the next dungeon crawl. So what's the big deal with spell components? Well, for starters, they slow down the game. Imagine your party is in the middle of a tense battle, and just as the wizard is about to save the day with a fireball, they stop and say, "Wait, do I have enough bat guano?" It turns epic moments into shopping trips. You end up with players flipping through the rulebook or their character sheets, trying to figure out if they've got the right bits and bobs. It's like doing your taxes, but with more spiders' legs. And for new players, it's a nightmare. Instead of focusing on the fun stuff, like role-playing, strategic decisions, or just having a good laugh, they're busy stressing over whether they need a live cricket or just a bit of the cricket. It breaks the immersion and turns your high fantasy adventure into a bizarre scavenger hunt. Now, don't get me wrong, spell components were meant to add flavour and balance to the game, but too often, they just end up adding confusion. And nothing kills a good story faster than stopping to ask, do I have enough powdered iron for this spell? So, why do we have spell components in the first place? Well, they're there to add a bit of balance and flavour to spellcasting. You see, back in the day, the game designers thought, hey, maybe wizards shouldn't just be able to cast powerful spells without any sort of cost, besides their fragile wizard egos. The idea was to make magic feel a bit more grounded, to give it some rules, a sense of realism, if you can call carrying a bag of sand and a dead spider realistic. Spell components were meant to limit how often spells could be cast and to make casting feel more tactile and, well, magical. But in practice, they often just add a layer of unnecessary complexity. Instead of feeling like Gandalf wielding the forces of nature, your wizard is stuck playing inventory management because you didn't realise you were running low on owl feathers. So yeah, they were meant to keep things interesting, but they often end up doing the opposite. Unless, of course, you're a big fan of medieval grocery lists. So, how do we fix this? How do we keep the magic without the migraine? First up, the easiest solution, the component pouch rule. Just assume that any spellcaster has a pouch full of the common, cheap stuff. Bat fur, crushed leaves, maybe a little eye of newt, the boring bits. This way, you're not stopping the game every 10 minutes to check if you've got a drop of mercury. It's all in there. Sorted. Problem solved. For the rare components, the pearls, diamonds, or that one obscure herb that only grows under moonlight, keep those for the big spells. Make them part of the story, maybe even a mini-quest. Now, instead of annoying paperwork, you've got an exciting adventure. You need the feather of a griffin? Perfect. Let's go. Find one. And try not to get eaten. Another option. Swap out material components for a spellcasting focus. A wand, staff, or that cool amulet your wizard found in the last dungeon. It does the same job, but without all the clutter. Unless, of course, you just love keeping track of your spider leg inventory. And hey, if you really enjoy the idea of components for flavour, use them as a storytelling tool. Maybe your wizard's been collecting oddities since they were a child, and now they use those personal trinkets in their spells. It's fun, it's unique, and it doesn't require a shopping trip every session. At the end of the day, remember, your table, your rules. There's no right or wrong way to play, as long as everyone's having a blast and nobody's drowning in paperwork. So, what happens when you fix the spell component rule? Well, for starters, your game speeds up. Instead of stopping every few minutes to check if you've got a sprig of mistletoe or a tiny tart supply, your players can actually stay focused on the adventure. And the fun stuff, like outsmarting a dragon or convincing the town guard that they definitely didn't start that bar fight. You also reduce confusion. New players won't feel like they're failing a test they didn't study for. Wait, what do you mean I need a pinch of salt and a live cricket? Instead, they'll be able to jump right into the game, casting spells and making bold moves without worrying about their shopping list. Most importantly, by cutting out the fiddly bits, you let the game flow. You keep everyone in the story, immersed in the world, and ready for whatever comes next. Your epic moments stay epic, your battles stay intense, and your players stay engaged. Think of it as turning your campaign from a slow, buffering video to high-speed internet. Everything just moves faster, smoother, and with a lot less frustration. And isn't that what we're all here for? To have fun, create memorable moments, and tell amazing stories, without getting stuck over a handful of bat guano. So, there you have it. Spell components. The little rule that could, but probably shouldn't. We've talked about what they are, why they exist, and how they can sometimes do more harm than good. But now, you've got some simple fixes to keep your game flowing and your players smiling. What's the weirdest spell component your wizard has ever needed? Let me know in the comments. Bonus points if it involves something truly bizarre, like a chicken's third toe. And hey, if you've got a different rule that's driving you up the dungeon walls, drop that in the comments too. Maybe it'll be the next topic we tackle. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Bye.